Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Anita Moorjani. What she is most famous for, or most well known for, is her near-death experience in which she got to see herself in a different light than she ever had before. Today's message contains some of that. Let's get right into it. We see the world through the lens of how we view ourselves. In fact, you can test this by becoming aware of how often your subconscious asks the question, what does this say about me? Somebody, good morning. It's good to see you. Hello. When you're trying to park the car and you accidentally bump the curb, when a cashier disrespects you, when your child throws a tantrum in a public place, when you lose a business deal, a scared part of our subconscious can't help but look around and wonder if anyone else saw this fail and asks, what does this say about me? Anthony, good morning. How you doing, dude? Good to see you. This view of ourselves is the lens through which we evaluate the reactions from the people around us. But when we upgrade the way we see ourselves, then we upgrade the way we see the people around us as well. When Anita Moorjani had her near-death experience and was looking down at her own body on that hospital bed, for a moment, she lost the old lens through which she always viewed herself. Immersed in the love of her inner being, she was able to see herself in a way that she never had access to before. Here's a little piece of that. She says, as I looked at the great tapestry that was the accumulation of my life up to that point, I was able to identify exactly what had brought me to where I was today. Just look at my life path. Why, oh why, have I always been so harsh with myself? Why was I always beating myself up? Why was I always forsaking myself? Why did I never stand up for myself and show the world the beauty of my own soul? Why was I always suppressing my own intelligence and creativity to please others? I betrayed myself every time I said yes when I meant no. Why have I violated myself by always needing to seek approval from others just to be myself? Why haven't I followed my own beautiful heart and spoken my own truth? Why don't we realize this when we're in our physical bodies? How come I never knew that we're not supposed to be so tough on ourselves? I still felt myself completely enveloped in a sea of unconditional love and acceptance. I was able to look at myself with fresh eyes and saw that I was a beautiful being of this universe. I understood that just the fact that I existed made me worthy of this tender regard. I can't say this strongly enough, but our feelings about ourselves are actually the most important barometer for determining the condition of our lives. That last sentence, our feelings about ourselves, or the way we view ourselves, that is the most important barometer for determining the condition of our lives. Maggie, good morning. It's always good to see you. Hello. So I have a few more thoughts from Anita that I want to share with you quickly. She says, loving yourself means being your own best friend, standing by yourself at all times, including times of failure, being there for yourself no matter what. She says, love yourself like your life depends on it, because it literally does. She says, when you're good to yourself, you're actually being good to everyone around you. Because when you feel good, you'll only react well to other people. At the same time, it's very easy for you to do things for other people when you know that other people are just an extension of yourself. She says, transform your world by transforming your inner state. Start by learning to let go of negative self-judgment and replace it with positive and loving thoughts about yourself. Be kind to yourself and watch your external world change. If we want to change the way we see ourselves and live in the energy of love, we need to be able to open our arms to every part of ourselves. Yes, even the worst parts need a soft place to rest. And on this topic, Anita Moorjani says, when you can completely love your ego unconditionally and accept it as a part of how you express in this life, then you'll no longer have a problem with it. It won't impede your growth. On the contrary, it will be an asset. Today's meditation is called a sense of self. And it is an opportunity to invite all the parts of ourselves. We'll call them inner children. Invite all these inner children for a conversation and have our arms open to every part of ourselves. Almere, good morning. It's good to see you. Hello. We are ready to drift off. You can close your eyes and we'll start with the first few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Today's journey is an opportunity to invite some of our inner children for a conversation. I call them inner children because they live within us. These are often childhood parts of us, but also adult parts of us that feel wounded and still hold on to a wounded narrative from the past. The examples that I will use today are sadness, a part of you that perhaps sometimes feels a sense of sadness. It might be related to something particular, or it might be related to just the events of sadness that we encounter in a normal human life. The next inner child we'll invite today is anger. Part of you that sometimes feels angry, perhaps about something in particular, sometimes perhaps just generally angry. And the third inner child we're inviting today is fear. The part of you that perhaps sometimes feels scared. I'm going to keep referring to them as inner children, but I want you to know that sometimes when we deal with these parts of ourselves, we don't have the sense of dealing with an inner child. Sometimes it feels like something a lot bigger and older. I invite you to simply see what's there. How does the sad part of you come across? If you were to listen to the sad part speak, what would that part of you look like? See if you can form an image. And the same with anger and fear. If you were to listen to those voices speak within you, what would those parts of you look like? It's not 100% important that you see a clear image, but it is very helpful to open yourself to the possibility of seeing who is speaking. In my mind, this always looks like the grade 1 teacher inviting the children to sit on the carpet with her for story time. Invite these inner children closer. Ask them to come and sit with you. Let them know you are here to listen. Let them know you are here to learn how to understand. Let them know that your arms are open to welcome them. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, and we're inviting these inner children to sit with us and breathe with us. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. See if you're able to tilt your head to the left while you tilt your hips to the right, curving your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. And then switch sides. Tilt your head to the right and your hips to the left. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. So as you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want to remind you of these inner children that we invited to sit with us. In today's example, we're inviting sadness, a part of you that sometimes feels sad. We're inviting anger, the part of you that perhaps sometimes feels angry. And we're inviting fear, the part of you that perhaps sometimes feels scared. As you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, see if you're able to form a picture of these parts of you. What do they look like? Take your next big breath. We'll bring our attention first to sadness. The part of you that perhaps sometimes feels some sense of sadness. When you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, we're inviting sadness to speak. We're holding our arms open, ready to listen. And as you do, remind yourself of those moments when you feel sad. What are your thoughts when you feel sad? What does it feel like to be in your body in those moments when you feel sad? Pay attention especially to the repetitive nature of those thoughts. It's very likely that every time you feel sad, it's the same inner recording that plays again. It speaks in the same way every time. See if you're able to be open to listening to that recording again. Let it speak and just listen. Take your next big breath. We're going to extend the conversation with sadness by asking sadness a question, asking it to speak some more, helping us understand even better. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, turn towards sadness and say to this part of you, as if you're standing apart from yourself, looking at this part of you and speaking. Say, sadness, in those moments when you feel so sad, what is it that you're afraid is going to happen? What brings on this sadness? What is the thing that you're afraid will happen? Now take your next big breath and just listen. Take a moment to thank sadness. Thank you for stepping up, for being seen, for being heard. That is a brave thing to do. Thank you. We'll turn our attention now to anger. The part of you that perhaps sometimes feels really angry. And we're inviting anger to speak as well. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, I want you to remind yourself of what it feels like when you are angry. Pay attention specifically to the thoughts that go through your mind in those moments of anger. And especially pay attention to the repetitive nature of those thoughts. It's very likely that every time you feel angry, it is the same inner recording that plays again and again. For the moment, just remind yourself of the way that anger speaks in you. Invite it to speak, in fact. And open yourself to just listening. Take your next big breath. We'll extend the conversation with anger for just a little bit longer by asking anger a question. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, turn towards anger and speak to this part of you. Say, anger, in those moments when you feel so angry, what is it that you're trying to prevent? I get the idea that your anger is really protective, that you're trying to protect me. So what is the bad thing you're trying to prevent from happening? So that is your question to anger. What's the bad thing you're trying to stop? Take your next big breath and listen. Take a moment to thank anger. Thank you for being seen, for being heard. We know this takes courage. Even for anger, yes. Then we'll turn our attention towards fear. The part of you that sometimes feels scared. And we're asking fear to speak as well. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of moments of feeling scared. What are the thoughts that go through your mind in those moments of feeling scared? And pay attention particularly to the repetitive nature of these thoughts. Most often, it's the same inner recording that plays again every time you're scared. Take your next big breath and listen. Then we'll extend the conversation with fear by asking fear a question. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, turn towards fear and ask it this question. Say, fear, in those moments when you feel so scared, what is it that you really want for me? What is your deep desire for me? Then take your next big breath and listen. Take a moment to thank fear. Thank you for being seen, for being heard. We know it's a difficult thing to do, and here you are being brave. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Have these inner children be wherever it is that they want to be. Would they like to move closer to you and sit right up against you? Would they like to sit on top of you, perhaps on your lap or on your shoulders? Would they like to crawl all the way inside of you? Or perhaps they would just like to go off and play somewhere and stop worrying. Just be an inner child. Wherever it is that they want to be, take them to that place. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back. You can lie all the way back down. You can feel yourself just floating. The practical usefulness of this exercise, inviting these inner children and listening to them, is that the more we do this, the more we learn that fear, anger, sadness, they are experiences that come and go. They're not who I am. Even in the moment when sadness is what I feel, even in that moment, sadness is not what I am. When you are able to invite these inner children closer and really listen to them, then you're clearly being something that's different, something other than the sadness and the fear and the anger. Now the question is, when you become so good at listening to these inner children, who are you being? We could put many labels on that. We could call it higher self, soul, inner wisdom, the divine. Whatever label we want to put on it doesn't really matter. But it's clearly a part of you that has a great depth and strength to it. Perhaps this is the best part of us. The part of us with arms strong enough to hold these inner children when they cry. I'll read to you one or two thoughts from Anita Moorjani again. She says, Loving yourself means being your own best friend. Doesn't that sound the same as this exercise? It means standing by yourself at all times, including times of failure. Being able to love yourself, stand by you in a time of failure. Imagine calling that inner child forward, the one that feels like a failure, and say, I'm here to listen. I'll hold you while you speak. She says, love yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. She says, when you are good to yourself, you're actually being good to everyone around you, because when you feel good, you'll only react well to other people. She says, transform your world by transforming your internal state. Start by learning to let go of negative self-judgment and replace it with positive and loving thoughts about yourself. Be kind to yourself and watch your external world change. And then, again, this sounds so much like our exercise today. She says, when you can completely love your ego unconditionally and accept it as part of how you express in this life, then you will no longer have a problem with it. It won't impede your growth. On the contrary, it will be an asset. Every part of us is trying to help us survive, whether we call it ego or sadness or anger or fear. Sadness perhaps is just afraid that you won't be accepted by someone. Someone won't like you. Perhaps. Anger perhaps is just scared that someone is disrespecting you. And it feels like we're powerless to do anything about that. And fear perhaps just wants something better for you. Whatever the answers to those questions are, it's clear that all of our parts, all of these inner children, really just want the best for us. That means we can stop fighting that inner critic. We can stop fighting any inner child and learn that we can simply be the part with the arms strong enough to hold them. Because then we are being our wisest self. We'll have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to listen to these inner children speak. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning that I don't have to be at war with any part of me. Because even the worst part of me, and I'm putting that in brackets, even the worst part of me is just trying to be helpful. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning that there is a part of me, perhaps it's the mountain in me, that has arms big enough to hold all of this, even while it feels a bit stormy. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning to trust that I always find my way back to the strongest part of me. Even if I might have been stumbling for a while. Even if I might have been stirring up a storm in my pond for a while. Even if that storm was so bad that I could not see my way to the mountain for a while. I'm learning to trust that I do eventually always find my way back to the strongest, wisest version of me. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Thank you for the beautiful relationship you're creating with you and every part of you. Thank you, Sunmari. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Elmare. Have yourselves a beautiful day. It is such a beautiful day out there. See you again soon. Hey, Charlene, good morning. Have a beautiful day. Ciao, ciao.